All right, you might hear my dryer and washing machine running in the background. This is the best I can do. First of all, I want to tell you, in my lifetime, I built at least 100 different crystal radio sets. And crystal radio sets seem to be a pretty big hobby over the years. It becomes big, drops off, becomes big, and in the interim, you got all these people trying to locate the different parts. Now, if you look here, this is a two-section, 360 variable capacitor, and here's the same one over here. Okay, and I collect these whenever I see them in an electronic place or in an old radio I don't want. I take them out and save them. But what I built here is a test bed for trying out various circuits, because you got a lot of people running around the internet. Again, I always say this: they're saying this, they're saying that. No scientific method. So what I did was I built a test bed, and this was one of the last things. If you can see this, this is a piece of ferrite rod, and here's another ferrite rod, and basically it's this circuit here. You can build this circuit in so many ways. Okay, it's called a powerful crystal set, brings in distance. You'll see this schematic on the internet. I think it's in People's or People's, whatever that guy's website is. Okay, and it's also in different magazines. Dig deep and you'll find this thing is in an old crystal radio set, a book, how to build them, and this wire right here is missing. So there is a mistake, but this one has to fix. Okay, and he also redrew it down below so you can actually follow it. And what it is, it has a tuned front end, which then delivers a primary windings to the secondary coil. So the first coil tunes the incoming signal. The second coil is part of the detector, but it's also tuned. Okay, and this is, I would say this is one of the best receivers you could ever build. Okay, because it's got two coils. So there's an Australian mystery radio in certain areas that'll get like 15 stations. The problem is it's not very selective. All right, well, this is selective, and this has two places to hook the antenna to. They show it here, and it's for distance and local. And what I want to tell you, what the hobby is you build this crystal radio set, and during the day, say you get 5 stations. Where I am, I get 3, and I also use this amplifier box. Okay, because the signals are so weak on the earphones. I'm going to cover the earphones, the headphones, whatever you want to call them. There's several different kinds. They all basically work about the same on an old person's set of ears. Okay, so now this is the circuit we're talking about. All right, here's my test bed. Now let's go on to the fact that these guys will say, you can't use toroid coils. Well, here they are. Let me show you all 3 of them. I wound different ones, center tap. This circuit here that I just showed you will work with toroid coils. Okay, and look it up. I don't want to tell you what number these are because I'm not sure. Okay, but in other words, yes, you can build the circuit, this circuit, using toroid coils. And yes, you can build this circuit using ferrite rods and winding your own coils. And I don't have them right now anymore. Was the coils I made these type. Regular coil form. You can use PVC tubes. Okay? It tells you the diameter. Everything's right here in this little area. And this is one of the best ones. Okay? Now, so I'm telling you, this is a starting point. If you want a DX. Now, I want to tell you about DX. During the day, say you get like me, I get 3 stations like I'm barely here. I'm in Lancaster. I'm out in the farm area, up by Dutch Wonderland, and the stations are down in the city, and one of them is in another town, and at night they go very low power. But if I get up at 2 o'clock in the morning, I get stations from Philly, real loud, stations from New York City, real loud, DXing in on a crystal radio set. The signals are actually louder than the stations near here. That's what's so funny about it. But I'm limited to the length of the antenna. Now, to really build a really great crystal radio set, you really need 250 feet of wire. All right? And some people use Litz wire, but 250 feet of wire and a good ground. And if you're in a good location, you're going to get a lot of stations during the day, and you're going to get the DX at night. Now, let's go to headphones. Now, I can show you that I have probably the two best ones. This is a Brandy's. I have 3 pairs of these. And this is the Nathan Baldwin, the one that's so hyped. Okay, here it is. And the Nathan Baldwin was made years before the Brandy's. But over time, they figured out to use a bigger diaphragm, and these have an armature in it. Go look this stuff up. A lot of this stuff is hype. Okay? Nobody has like a listing of if you put 3 millivolts into the headphones at a certain frequency, it'll be so many decibels. You don't see any of that. It's just all bullshit. This one's better. This one's better. Sound powered. Get yourself a sound powered handset and get yourself a transformer so you impedance match it. And there's one guy hates me when I do these videos. Okay? I've done all the experiments. Now, the one thing about the Brandy's, I just showed you. Here's the headphone piece, one side. And you take the diaphragm. Here's the diaphragm. Nice, huh? And you go like this. See how it sticks? That tells me these magnets are strong enough. So if you turn it over and do this, and the diaphragm drops away, your magnets have to be recharged. Now, you're going to see big bullshit on how to recharge these, okay? I know how to recharge these. I've done it many times on all, I think I have 5 sets of these earphone units, and I picked the best one. See, this is a B. This isn't good. There are slight differences between them after you charge them. Some of it's the diaphragm. Like the diaphragm will get some blistering on. I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but I have a 2 pair that's the best that I made. Now, I want to show you what's inside. Oh, let me take this off and show you an inside shot. Okay, you see 2 coils, right? And there's magnets in there, and both magnets sit like this. They sit in there like this, okay? Here's the magnets. I've got marked north and north and south and south. And they have to sit like this. They work together. They're not south-north, south-north. They're north and north and south like this. Now, you can recharge them by having a magnet that's set up like this. Now, how do you know where the north and south is? Well, you have to, in your mind, say, I'm taking you take the magnets and you mark them in the headphones before you take them out. Okay, as soon as you take them out, you take a compass, and it's not the kind that makes a circle. It's this kind of compass. And you put this next to it, okay? And that's the north. The north will attract the north. Let me get this in frame. North attracts north. You just have to, that's the convention. Remember, north is really attracted to a south, but we're going to call the side of this magnet that attracts the north, okay? It works better this way, but now we're going to call that north. You just have to do it that way, otherwise you get so confused you'll lose your mind. Now, the same thing with this magnet, okay? This north is going to attract the north of this compass, okay? And the south is going to attract the south. Hopefully this is all in the frame. Okay, now when you want to charge it, you put it to opposites. You don't put the north to the north and the south to the south. That's the trick. So now you take this and you put it like this. And you let it sit there for a half hour. And that's so all the different regions of the magnet flip. That's what a magnet is. They say there's a bunch of little magnets in there. No, what it is just a bunch of regions, and all the electrons in there start spinning all in the same direction. And they create a magnetic field, okay? So in other words, the north of the magnet you're charging goes to the south. If you try to do it the other way, it won't work, okay? That's the secret, okay? And the first thing to do is have a compass ready, and as you take these out, mark them. They're a pair. You might want to mark top. and then north. You can see them sticking out of there. This one's marked. That's why it's so strong, because I've recharged it. Okay, here's the diaphragm. There you go. Okay, it's sticking to that. And it goes from one that doesn't work to one that works. And this is a Brandy's. It's a C Brandy's. Okay, and these are actually as good as the bald ones. And you can recharge these. The bald ones use an armature unit similar to the sound powered. The sound powereds, they're low impedance. They're not 2,000 ohm for a head. You got to go through one of these type of transformers. Been there, done that. And basically the Brandy's are just as good. But I wanted to tell you, toroids do work on certain circuits. Okay, that's because the one coil on the antenna has turns coming off it, which then wrap around the other one. So they transfer the energy over there. Just like if you had built the coil forms down in the circuit. Here's your coil. It comes off. This one's in series with ground. And before it goes to ground, it has so many turns. It tells you on here, it goes over to the other coil. And it's wound on the other coil. And that's how the signal gets from this coil over to that coil. Okay? So this set has both sensitivity and selectivity. I mentioned the Australian mystery radio. It's not good with selectivity. Okay? That's why you build a 2-coil unit. And the better the larger the coils, the more Q you'll get and the more signal. And you'll get even more if you wind them with a wave or you use Litz wire. Okay? You'll get a little tiny bit more. But these guys that go around the internet, they make it like you're going to see the thing's going to explode. It's going to be so much better. And it's not. It's BS. Okay? But I've done the work. I always tell you, I do the work. I use scientific method. And this is how I charge mine up. And I've done many pairs, and I had videos just on charging the magnets up. I had videos on this unit here, and I showed it working with the toroids. Okay, and a lot of what they say, see, they right away they shoot from the hip. They say, there's no way you can couple the signals between the two toroids. It's true. Okay, but what if one winding before it goes to ground wraps around this one? Okay, yeah, then it works. Okay, and then it works, and they're wrong. Okay, and you can also, if you had 2 toroid coils and you wanted to couple them, you wrap 2 turns around one, 2 turns around the other, and the open end you connect together, and it'll also work that way. But this circuit I'm showing you, it just works the best. Okay, you can really do a lot. It took me many years to find this circuit. And I know you're not going to want to wind those coils. And I was getting, when I had this video up, where did you get this? You got to go find this stuff. Okay? I've been collecting it for years. Now you go on eBay and you buy yourself some tuning caps. And then you buy your set of headphones. And then you're going to ask me, well, what about those little crystal earphones? Don't even go there. Just a quick thing about those is, they used to use some type of salts in there. If you'd really dig into it, they were very sensitive. Now they use a piezo crystal. They do work on strong signals. Hold on, I can clear my throat. They do work on strong signals, but not like the old ones worked. When they had it on the rocket radio. I don't know if you ever saw the little rocket ship radio. That headphone on there was super sensitive. And there's another thing. I remember as a kid, I could pick up. Yeah, your hearing was a lot better too. Don't forget, as you get older, the amount of dBs that comes out of a headphones is very low, and you don't realize how bad your hearing has gotten. That's why I use this thing. Okay, this is basically an amplifier in a box, and I use this just to ID the station real quick. Okay, because listening through headphones, it's really annoying. This way, if I turn it on, I can hear it across the room, and then when the ID comes, I can hear what the station is. I can also take a radio, my DX390, and go tuning through the band and find the station that has the same song or the same person talking, and then ID it that way. But these crystal radio sets do pick up other states, and they pick up the 50,000 watt stations. Okay, late at night. If you're getting up to pee 3-4 times a night, perfect. Set it up, get it ready. After you pee the second time at night, come walking over to it, and you'll be amazed how many extra signals now. Now, I don't know if it's during the summer. During the winter, it was great. Okay, but I just want to put it out there. You're going to have these guys keep mentioning the sound headphones. Oh, they're the best. They're good, but you're going to have to get a transformer and step it up. Okay, because they're low impedance, and you're going to need high impedance for a crystal radio set. And don't go with the what do they call them, the variacs? No, varicaps. The varicaps need voltage. The whole idea of a crystal radio set is you don't use any voltage. The signal comes as magnetic waves from the station, and you convert it from magnetic waves into audio. Okay, you start using things that use batteries and stuff. It's the whole purpose of the crystal radio thing just went out the window. And there are a lot of sets that use just one coil, and they're not as good as a 2-coil set. All your DX units in crystal radio sets always have 2 coils, and then you'll get into the ones where they have a one that's used to cancel out a strong station. So if you got a real strong station next to a weak one, you turn this little tuned circuit, and what it does, it nulls out that station, and then you're able to ID the weak station. Okay, this is the guys to use. Go look at the guys that have done all 50 states. Okay, and look at what they're using. The giant coils, Litz wire, real expensive Litz wire. And you gotta, when you go into this hobby, like I said, you want to do this circuit here, because this, you get rid of all the single coil junk radios. All right, you eliminate them. You can build 1 or 2 just to see it pick up local stations, but at night you won't get as much DX. And this thing comes alive like 2 o'clock in the morning, AM. Okay, on a winter's night. And I just wanted to show you that this was the one that I settled in on, and you can use toroid coils on this circuit because they are connected with this primary coil. From one coil, the energy from the one toroid goes over to the other one. Okay, and toroids a lot easier to wind, especially these larger ones. I don't know if these are T80s or what they were. I bought them for a transmitter project, used it there, and then I realized if it can do AM broadcast, it may work on this, and it worked. And it's obvious, okay? But if you follow what the guys tell you on the groups, you'll get so confused because a lot of them are confused themselves. But they'll tell you to rejuvenize the magnet in this brandish, you wrap wire around the outside of the headphone, or the one piece, and you turn it on and it'll recharge that magnet. I'm going to tell you that's super bullshit. All that in there is a keeper to hold those magnets so they do go bad over like 70 years, okay? They slowly lose their magnetism. But you can't get the magnetic fields in here correctly, in the right direction, by wrapping turns of wire around the outside. The other thing too I did was I put ones that I had demagnetized in there, okay? This one magnet, and I put a rare earth, little dot rare earths on there, and tried to put one on each to hold the diaphragm. It wouldn't work, okay? And that's the key, you know. And it'll hold it halfway, like that. When you got a good strong magnet, that's why some people say, well, when I turn it over, it takes a lot. It takes more than a lot of jiggling to get it to come apart. Okay, this is really charged, and that's how I do it, man. It just, you know. And this magnet's from the 1950s. I had 2 of these, and I cleaned someone's drain out using one. There was metal filings in it, and from something else, and it came out so disgusting from the drain. I didn't keep the other one. But remember, you start out with a compass. And don't put the magnet too close to the compass. You'll screw it up. But this is the north. This actually, I got the magnet in my hand. But the north, when this points to a magnet, okay, it's really pointing to a south. But you're going to call it a north, and that's the way the game goes, okay? Because the north pole of a compass points to the North Pole, which is really a south pole. All right, let's just say this is really a south pole of a magnet that points to the north. Remember, opposites attract. You know, I know some guys are going to get in an argument because they're old and senile and stupid, but that's how I charge them up. And then this thing will get really really sticky now. Let's see if we can get it to stick. Goes from not sticking at all. Look at that. Not sticking at all. Nothing. Zero zip to just a few minutes. Okay, am I in the frame? And you recharge it. And then, like I said, they have to go in as a pair like this. In there. North to north, south to south. And you can charge two of them at once. Well, that's getting stuck to there. Okay, now, the north goes to the south. And then another north goes to the south. And you can charge two of them at the same time. And you can use two separate magnets too, as long as you've put a piece of masking tape on there, and the north pole of the magnet of the compass points to the north pole of the magnet, which is really a south pole. You can make yourself nuts with that. In tech school, a guy asked about that. It was one of the questions, and I had to write it out. I wrote it out, and I said, you know, first of all, the part of the compass that points to the North Pole is really a South Pole. And I explained it, you know, you calling it out, because his question was so vague. I went all through the steps, and he gave me it right. He says, you really understand it. But you basically say that the North Pole, or the north of the compass, points to north. But you don't get into what pole of a magnet that the little needle is. It's really a South Pole. Opposite poles attract, like poles repel. That's all you got to remember. And it's very confusing, but if you take one of these apart, because it's not holding the diaphragm, you have nothing to lose. Okay? There isn't much to it, and be very careful. Actually, you don't have to take the coils out. Leave the coils alone. Just take these two outer screws out, and the clamps that hold the magnets in, and mark them. This side up, take them out one at a time, and then put them next to a compass and start marking them. Okay? It's very simple unless you get confused, and then it becomes real difficult. But I think that's it. You know, I just combined what I told people in like 10 videos before, all at the same time. And, oh, another thing too is, you have guys on there saying, oh, you can use, what would you call it, MP3 player earphones. Yes, you can. And if you properly change the impedance, let's say they're 30 ohms, all right, to 30 to 3,000 or 2,000, you're going to have to use a transformer. And then you're going to find out that earphones for an MP3 player really would require a lot of energy to move. They're not efficient. You need earphones or headphones that are very efficient. That's why there's no numbers on any of this stuff. It would have been over for these guys. Okay? If you have a guy, and most of the earphones for crystal radios are their peak frequencies around 1,000 cycles. Okay, so if you put music through these, they're going to sound like the music's coming through a telephone. But that's okay. You know, I had a lot of fun with crystal radios, but over the years I kept trying to try all the different circuits. But it's apples and oranges. You got a guy that's got a 250-foot antenna and a guy that's got a 30-foot, and they're arguing back and forth which circuit works the best. I'm just telling you, having built a lot of circuits, this one's really good. Okay, the fact that they got they got a distance and local antenna connection where you put it, and you'll see if you build it. It's like I said, you have to build stuff. You know, you can memorize stuff and regurgitate it all you want, but in the end, you have to actually build something. I think that's it. All right, that's it.